You've met someone who looked at you during your worst moment and felt nothing. No discomfort, no empathy, just calculation. That wasn't coldness. That was a different operating system entirely. If you can't identify these 5 signals by the end of this video, you will keep mistaking emotional absence for strength and handing trust to people who are biologically incapable of returning it. Sign 1. The flat effect under pressure. Symptom. In situations that produce visible stress in everyone around them, conflict, crisis, confrontation, they remain completely, unnaturally calm, not composed. Flat, cynical mechanics. Emotional flatness under genuine pressure is not stoicism. Stoicism requires active regulation of a feeling that exists. Flatness means the feeling was never generated. The amygdala, the brain's threat detection system, produces significantly reduced activation in people with psychopathic traits, meaning they simply do not experience the physiological signal that produces normal human anxiety. Counter strategy. 1. Distinguish between composed and flat. Composed people show microsignals of internal effort, jaw tension, breathing control, deliberate stillness. Flat people show none. 2. Introduce a genuinely high-stakes scenario in conversation and watch the face for any signal of genuine concern. 3. If the face produces zero change across genuinely threatening information, treat that as diagnostic, not admirable. Sign 2. Charm that switches on and off. Like a light symptom, they are magnetic, warm, and engaging in social settings, then completely indifferent the moment the audience disappears. Cynical mechanics. Neurotypical charm is a byproduct of genuine positive feeling toward others. Psychopathic charm is a performance, deliberately deployed when useful, immediately dropped when not. The switch is instant because there is no underlying emotion driving it. It is a tool, not a state. Counter strategy. 1. Observe behavior in private, one-on-one settings with nothing to gain. This is when the performance drops. 2. Notice the speed of the charm activation when a new high-value person enters the room. Authentic warmth builds gradually. Performed warmth activates instantly. 3. Create a scenario where their charm produces no social benefit and watch how quickly it disappears. Sign 3. They reference emotions. They don't display symptom. They talk about emotions, describe them accurately, use them in conversation, but never actually display them in the moment they're being described. Cynical mechanics. Research on psychopathic cognition shows that individuals with these traits often develop sophisticated intellectual maps of emotional language without the underlying emotional experience. They have learned what emotions are supposed to look like and sound like from observation, and they replicate the vocabulary without the physiology. Counter strategy. 1. Listen for emotional descriptions that feel scripted or borrowed, too precise, too textbook, too perfectly timed. 2. Create a genuinely emotional moment and see if their verbal response matches any visible physical response. 3. The disconnect between accurate emotional language and zero emotional display is the diagnostic signature. Sign 4. 0. Genuine curiosity about others. Symptom. They ask questions, but only questions that extract useful information. They never ask a question that serves no purpose except genuine interest in another person. Cynical mechanics. Genuine curiosity about others requires the capacity to value someone beyond their utility. People with psychopathic traits are fundamentally transactional. Every interaction is evaluated for what it produces. Questions that produce nothing useful simply don't occur to them. Counter strategy. 1. Share something deeply personal and non-useful. A childhood memory, a private fear, a meaningless detail you love. Watch whether they engage with it or redirect to something functional. 2. Notice if their follow-up questions build on what you shared or pivot to something they can use. 3. The absence of purposeless curiosity, the kind that serves no agenda, is a consistent tell. Sign 5. They are genuinely unbothered by your pain. Symptom: when you are visibly suffering, emotionally, physically, professionally, they respond with practical suggestions or complete indifference, but never with the involuntary human response of shared discomfort. Cynical mechanics. Mirror neurons, the neurological system responsible for empathic resonance, show measurably reduced activity in people with psychopathic traits. They do not automatically feel with another person's pain, because the biological mechanism for doing so is functioning at a fraction of normal capacity. This is not a choice, it is neurology. Counter strategy. 1. Distinguish between people who are uncomfortable with emotional expression, introverts, avoidants, and people who are genuinely unaffected by your pain. The first group shows discomfort even when suppressing it. The second shows nothing. 2. Stop expecting empathy from someone whose neurology doesn't generate it. Redirect your emotional investment accordingly. 3. Use their emotional flatness as data about what you can and cannot trust them with. Dead eyes aren't broken. They're just running different software. The danger isn't hating them for it. It's trusting them with something their system was never built to hold.